Today is the 20th of November, and this day in Baptist history, our reading is Who Paid the Price of Soul Liberty? Our verse of Scripture comes from Matthew chapter 10 and verse 23. But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. The Anabaptists in 1527 surely must have thought they were enduring the biblical tribulation period, for many of the leaders of the faith sealed their testimony in blood. George Wagner of Emmerich, Germany, was apprehended at Munich in Bavaria, and amidst other indictments it was charged that he did not hold to the belief that water baptism possessed any saving power. Thus, as he smilingly bid farewell to a fellow believer, he was thrust and bound into the fire by the executioner on the 8th day of February, A.D. 1527. Another Anabaptist martyr of the same period was Melchior, Melchoir Vett, who had been a companion of the Hercules of the Anabaptists, George Blaurock. Vett was burned at Drache, D-R-A-C-H-E, for the testimony of his faith and of the divine truth which he boldly confessed. In May of 1527, a former Roman priest, Michael Sattler, heard the following accusation read to him, and I quote, Michael Sattler shall be delivered to the executioner, who shall lead him to the place of execution, and cut out his tongue, then throw him up on a wagon, and there tear his body twice with red-hot tongs, and after he has been brought without the gate, he shall be pinched 5 times in the same manner. End of quote. In the carrying out of the edict, Michael Sattler was burned to ashes as a heretic. At the same time, several of his brethren in the faith were executed with the sword, and 2 of his sisters in the faith were drowned. After his wife had been threatened and interrogated, she too was drowned on May 21, 1527. What brought about Sattler's martyrdom? His own words were these, and I quote, Infant baptism is of no avail to salvation, for it is written that we live by faith alone. Again, he that believeth and is baptized shall be saved. End of quote. This is the same precious tenet that all Bible-believing Baptists believe in our day. Sattler was the prime mover in writing of the Schleithim, a confession of faith, and every Baptist confession of faith since that time has championed the cause of soul liberty. Leonard Geyser had been a learned priest of the Roman Church in Bavaria. In 1525, after studying the writings of Zwingli, Luther, and the Anabaptists, he had joined himself with the latter and preached the true gospel with fervor and power. 2 years later, he was captured at Scharding in Bavaria and condemned by the bishop and other priests to be burned on Friday before St. Lawrence Day in August of 1527. Though he was consigned to the flames, history tells us that his body could not be consumed in the flames, and in desperation his body was hacked in pieces and thrown into the nearby river. Before the year was over, on November 20th, 1527, Wynken, W-E-Y-N-K-E-N, Klaas, was burned to death in The Hague, Holland, for her testimony of the Anabaptist faith. At her arraignment, Klaas was asked, and I quote, Do you then not fear death which you have never tasted? Her answer was classic. This is true, she responded. But I shall never taste death, for Christ says, If a man keep my saying, he shall never see death. The rich man tasted death and shall taste it forever. Amazingly, most of the answers given at her trial were direct quotations from God's precious word. In this volume entitled The Price of Soul Liberty and Who Paid It, Dr. Henry C. Fish quotes the great American historian George Bancroft as saying, Freedom of conscience, unlimited freedom of mind, was from the first the trophy of the Baptists. To God be the glory.